It is over. The LIRR strike has ended, but commuters are still facing another nightmare ride to work. What we know about the deal ending the strike that brought the nation's largest commuter railroad to a halt.
We had to find a deal that gave people fair raises, but didn't put the hit on the riders.
Hundreds of thousands of rail riders are rejoicing.
I'm very bloody happy, actually. Very happy.
But service is still not quite restored when LIRR workers are expected to get the trains back on track. Hi, everyone. It's Tuesday, May 19th. I'm Macy Egland. We have team coverage on the end of the historic Long Island Railroad strike. Our Virginia Huey is with commuters in Hicksville, and Carissa Kelman is talking traffic troubles with drivers in New Hyde Park. We'll get to them in just a second. But first, here is the very latest. LIRR service will begin to be phased back in starting at noon today on 4 electrified branches. That's Babylon, Huntington, Port Washington, and Ronkonkoma. All branches will resume service at 4 p.m. on a normal weekday schedule. Now, shuttle buses are once again running from 6 Long Island locations to get commuters into the city until things are back on track later today. Now, the agreement to end the 3-day strike was reached last night. It resolves the 3-year contract dispute between 5 LIRR unions representing about 3,500 employees.
We are so proud to be able to resume what is our core mission, which is to serve those 3 million Long Islanders wherever they need to go.
And I always believed that we could reach a good, fair compromise, a contract that achieved 2 principles. Number 1, protecting affordability for Long Islanders and commuters while giving fair wages to the employees.
Kevin Sexton, Vice President of Locomotive Engineers, spoke about the deal late last night outside MTA headquarters in Manhattan.
We are looking forward to our members getting back to work and doing what they do best, which is serving the region.
So far, details of the deal have not been released. The rank and file LIRR workers still need to approve it. Turning now to this morning's chaotic morning commute. The headache is not over just yet. Our Virginia Huey is at the Hicksville train station where many riders are boarding shuttle buses once again, hoping for a smoother ride home this evening later on. Virginia, how are things looking?
Well, Macy, there's a collective sigh of relief among commuters now that an agreement has been reached to end the strike. But the pain of the morning commute isn't over yet. That's because train service remains suspended until noon today. So that means hundreds of commuters are taking shuttle buses to work again today. And you can see one of the buses is pulling away with the commuters right now, and another one is going to be pulling up right now to take more commuters. We were here at 4 a.m. when commuters showed up dark and early to take a bus from the Hicksville train station to Howard Beach, where they took a subway into Manhattan. They said yesterday's commute was miserable because it took several hours and bumper-to-bumper traffic each way. They were exhausted and frustrated, but now they're glad an end to the chaotic commute is in sight. Take a listen.
Yesterday coming home, it took two hours, 3 to 5, which is bumper to bumper yesterday, but good things are back to normal. You know, I don't think I could do this for a week.
Solidarity with the union, but also I want to get to work without having to take, it was like 3 hours yesterday, so yeah, it's good that it's over.
3 hours each way?
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
It's a lot of time away from the family for not, doesn't feel like much. Feel like I get getting much done for those extra hours.
Relieved that it's pretty much over. I'm looking forward to a relatively normal commute tonight, and I'm glad they were able to get this hammered out. This was not a fun thing for us.
Now, hourly train service will resume at noon today at the electrified train branches. They are Huntington, Babylon, Ronkonkoma, and Port Washington, and all other branches will be running again by the afternoon rush. In Hicksville, I'm Virginia Huey for NewsdayTV. Macy?
All right. Thank you, Virginia. Now, until those trains start rolling again, drivers are expected to face another rough ride on the roadways. Newsday's Carissa Kelman is tracking the traffic for us in New Hyde Park. Carissa.
Good morning, Macy. We're standing here off of exit 34 on New Hyde Park Road, overlooking the Long Island Expressway, where we've watched traffic creep in as the sun has risen this morning. What started as a slow-moving commute has now graduated to that stop-and-go traffic for all drivers heading westbound. Yesterday, we spoke to commuters who told us that the drive to this area added at least 30 to 60 minutes to their commute. Even many saying that they thought they left enough time to leave in the morning, but they still ended up being late to their appointments or to work. So if you are traveling westbound this morning to this area, New Hyde Park, exit 34 or beyond, definitely give yourself that extra time this morning to make sure you make it on time where you need to be. For Newsday TV, I'm Carissa Kelman. Back to you.
Good advice. Thanks, Carissa. We know a lot of people worked remote yesterday, so today, more people going into the city, potentially another big headache. Now, the deal to end the strike is good news for businesses who survive on commuters at LIRR hubs. Many eateries at station yards in Ronkonkoma have seen steep declines in business since the strike started on Saturday, some projecting thousands of dollars in losses per day. The manager of the Dunkin' said the store went from serving 300 customers on an average day to just 15 during yesterday morning's peak commute. Stay with Newsday for the latest on the lasting effects of the LIRR strike and your best options for getting to and from work. You'll find breaking news updates on our website, newsday.com. To your other local headlines now. Police on Long Island have stepped up patrols after a deadly shooting at a San Diego mosque. Police in California say 2 teenaged gunmen opened fire at the Islamic Center of San Diego yesterday, killing 3 men and then themselves. Nassau police say there is no direct threat here. However, officers have increased patrols at houses of worship. Suffolk police say they're monitoring intelligence in the aftermath of the shooting. Today is Super Tuesday, and Long Island voters are deciding whether to approve a total of nearly $16.9 billion in spending for the 2026-2027 academic year. 7 of the island's 124 school districts are looking to pierce their tax cap. A Newsday analysis found a third of island districts have adopted budgets calling for reductions in staffing or programs. School officials cited skyrocketing expenses. You can find what you need to know before heading to the polls on Newsday.com. Click Get More below that Newsday TV video box. Sports now, and playoff fever is spreading on the island. The Knicks are back in action, hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers this evening for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks are looking to make it 8 straight playoff wins. Let's see if they can make it happen tonight. Let's talk about your forecast with meteorologist Jeff Banson on what sounds like it's going to be another hot day.
Little sweaty for all the Knicks fans, which they love to cram together anyway and go nuts, for the TV cameras. Yeah. Interesting. I don't think anybody thought it would be nearly 100 degrees or at least feel like 100 degrees for Knicks playoff basketball. It's going to be a day out there today. Now, yesterday there was, for parts of the I-95 corridor, a air quality advisory. The air is going to be a little bit worse here on Long Island today. But let's start with a check of a beautiful shot out right now at Cooper's Beach in the Hamptons. Fantastic. Looks like, a mid-July, mid-summer beach day out there. And it's going to feel like it across most of the island. But because of how cold those water temperatures are, we have to really keep an eye on, our proximity to the water on a day like today, because it is still very cold. That's why, when you're getting all this heat inland, you're talking about temperatures only 67 to 70 at the beach because of the water temperatures, anywhere from 58 to 61 degrees. A little bit colder, I think, on the ocean right now. The sound tends to warm up a little quicker, as do the bays, the Peconic, the Great South Bay. Still very dangerous water conditions. So we're not swimming on a day like today, but certainly to be near the cooler water is certainly nice. Here's our heat advisor again for parts of New England, parts of the mid-Atlantic. Long Island has been omitted from that because it will undoubtedly be cooler, but we're going to be feeling like near 100 as we work our way towards New York City. Want to take a look at this air quality alert again. You can see the yellows indicating moderate air. We probably will see some of these orange circles popping up as we go throughout the day today. Long Island wasn't in this yesterday. it is in it today. So if you are someone that maybe has asthma, suffers from any kind of respiratory ailments, this is a day, again, you want to take it a little bit easy out there. It's very mild and muggy already. Temperatures 60s to 74 degrees in New York City right now. That's, one of the reasons why we're going to see that temperature get a little bit higher today, already jumping off what typically is our low temperature at about this hour. So we've got a ways to go, but it's going to heat up in a hurry. And I said muggy out there. It is very humid. Temperatures made to feel a little bit worse by the dew points out there. Not much of a south wind, but that'll pick up throughout the day, and that's why we're getting that humid flow coming out of the southwest. No rain to tell you about for today. Tomorrow's a different story. We've got a sharp cold front off to the west right now. Slow moving. Typically we see rainstorms out here in the Ohio Valley. They can get here within a day. This is going to take its time getting here, but those storms could pack a bit of a punch, aided by this heat that we're going to have out ahead of that front. So today, tomorrow, looking good. Tomorrow looks good to start. Does not look good to finish here. As you can see, you'll watch as we advance it in time here. Temperatures in the 80s to around 90 again by midday tomorrow. Tomorrow could actually feel the hottest because of the highest levels of humidity before that front arrives. There you can see the showers starting to pop off as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. Could be some downpours, could maybe even be some gusty winds with these storms. We'll be monitoring that very closely as that front gets a little bit closer. Kind of stalls out south of Long Island on Thursday. It's a cloudy day, maybe some leftover showers in the morning. It's a much cooler day, markedly cooler by about 25, 30, maybe even 35 degrees so. Then that front will push south on Friday. We'll get a little bit of sun with Canadian high pressure in play. It'll feel very comfortable, but it's going to be a huge difference to go from midsummer back to early spring in a matter of hours. Now as we head into the weekend, the clouds begin to come back in. Here's our next storm system, and this is a terrible setup for Memorial Day weekend. High pressure slows this system down, and it just parks over the northeast for Saturday and Sunday. We're going to be dealing with cloudy skies, periods of rain, exceptionally cool temperatures. Maybe at this point we salvage Monday. Not looking great, though, for anybody that may have had. I mean, could you imagine weather like we're experiencing this week happening on the holiday weekend? Would have been great, but it's just not going to work out that way this time. Temperatures in the 50s tonight, partly cloudy skies. Another scorcher tomorrow, ranging from the 70s out on the Twin Forks to the low to mid 90s northwest Nassau County, western end of the island, certainly bearing the brunt, as we tend to do, any time of year, but certainly now with the cooler water temperatures surrounding Long Island. Tomorrow's the last hot day. We cool down to the 60s for Thursday and Friday, and then maybe not even getting out of the 50s. You heard me correctly. I hate to say it, but it is not looking good as we head into Memorial Day weekend with rain chances Saturday, Sunday, and right now, Memorial Day Monday as well.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Fire Island Ferries.
Only in Newsday, an army of volunteers is preserving Long Island cemeteries where America's original patriots are at rest. Newsday TV's Virginia Huey shows us how.
We have to honor those that have given us our freedom, the ones that protect our freedom or have protected our freedom.
They are places where valor rests. Colonial cemeteries from Montauk to Manhasset serve as the final resting places for thousands of Revolutionary War veterans and founding families of Long Island. Many of these centuries-old grave markers are deteriorating, blackened with mold and moss. The inscriptions are barely legible as time and the elements slowly erase all memory.
It's a shame. It's history lost.
But an army of volunteers is changing this. They call themselves the Long Island Cemetery Preservation Group. The nonprofit organization is on a mission to restore and preserve what they feel is an often forgotten and unsung part of Long Island's history.
There's definitely a need for this kind of work. A lot of the cemeteries in the area are neglected and haven't been cleaned or looked at for years. And sometimes it's the only existing proof of who the early settlers were of the area.
On this day, they gather to honor the fallen by cleaning and repairing the headstones at Old Baptist Cemetery, an 18th century burial ground in Coram.
You find one that looks like it needs some tender loving care. You spray it with some detergent and then scrub away.
There are 14 Revolutionary War patriots buried here. Several of Mary Alice Wisniewski's ancestors fought for America's independence.
It is a way to look back and respect my family and respect the sacrifices that other generations have made.
They represent our freedom. They had to work under very adverse conditions, especially on Long Island. They did a lot for us, and this is the least we can do in return.
I like doing this. It's rewarding in the fact that we clean them and we honor them in that way.
Volunteers spend hours scrubbing, chipping, and washing away centuries worth of dirt and grime. Long hidden names lost to time become readable again. Stories forgotten are now remembered.
So when I'm doing this and I'm cleaning them, it's exciting. And then when I'm done, I go home and I research them so I can find out what their lives are all about. So it's just it's an honor and a privilege to be able to bring somebody's death back to life.
Since the group began their effort in 2023, they've cleaned about 3,000 headstones in a dozen cemeteries. The volunteers are united in their belief that the greatest casualty of war is being forgotten.
You don't want to forget any of these people. You know, they were once loved. Without them, we wouldn't be who we are today.
250 years after these patriots made the ultimate sacrifice, this simple yet heartfelt tribute shines.
Well, you can see more exclusive stories like this on our website, Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. We continue to highlight the jobs you do. Ken Buffa has a cool look at how to make commercial ice in this week's LI Works.
Grab your water. We're making ice. As the warm weather rolls in, one star at every barbecue, pool party, or outdoor get-together is ice. And to see how it's made, let's meet.
I'm Al Vigno, the owner of Hampton Ice. I've been running this business for 5 years. The reason I love this business, I love the connections I make.
Al has been moving tons of the cold stuff for years and says if you want to get in on this chill business, you better warm up to hard labor.
You need a lot of passion. You need a lot of grit. The first year, I was doing everything on my own. From making the ice, to bagging the ice, to putting it on the pallet, putting it in the truck or the trailer, and then delivering it all myself. I wanted to learn on the job all of the logistics, the routes, the most efficient way of going about things.
And since this product can melt, you also have to learn how to quickly get it to where it's going.
Air is like kryptonite to them. They're destroyed very easily. Like, you can't keep them outside for more than 30 seconds or else they're ruined. We like to prepare a little bit more, get there early, but there is a lot of emergency ice. People that call and my ice machine's down, the restaurant's full, and we have no ice. It's such a necessity for the pulse of the hospitality industry that you kind of have to be there.
Al says while ice normally goes unnoticed, it's still a big deal. And no matter the shape or size, it's important to not only his business, but to yours. Ken Buffa, Newsday TV.
Pretty interesting, right? You can see more LI Work segments on Newsday.com. Click Get More below that Newsday TV video box. You can see more on all of the stories you've seen today and the latest on the LIRR strike aftermath on Newsday.com. Plus, watch us streaming anytime on Local Now, YouTube, and the other streaming services you see there. I'm Macy Eglund here with Jeff Banson. We've got more local Long Island news and your forecast coming up for you here on Newsday TV.
An inside look at Long Island businesses as Newsday presents LI Works. Join Ken Bufa as he samples unique jobs and meets the people behind them. LI Works, now available at newsday.com/LI Works.